What is going on, Sports Wars? We're here. We're live for Sunday Sports Wars. And obviously, just like a lot of other things this week, a lot of the sports world kind of overshadowed by a real-life tragedy, the murder, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about that a little bit. We've obviously talked extensively on a lot of other streams and channels, but we will talk today about how that affected the sports world because there's a handful of games you're probably going to see before the games. Moment of silence, moment of reflections, different players honoring Charlie Kirk. And, with what we've seen established in the NFL and in the sports world, I only think that that's proper that we see a lot of that stuff this week after the rules that they set for themselves over the last several years. But before we get in that, we'll talk about the honoring of Charlie Kirk that's being done in the sports world. We'll also talk about some of the lunatics and freaks out there. But before we get into all that stuff, Beardo, how's it going?
It's going good. No, you're right. Like after everything that happened to Charlie Kirk, it just makes sports and, other things just not seem obviously as important. That's what the past couple of days have really been heavy on a lot of us. And it hits home to us because like we're right there, like we're content creators, and that's how Charlie Kirk got started, man. He was a YouTuber content creator, and it really hit heavy with us for sure because he was right there, man. And obviously he was number one in the space, but it was a heavy hitter, so it's difficult. But getting back on track with some of the football games today, it's felt good to take your mind off of it, of course.
Yeah, and realistically, sports have always, that's why like so much of this wild stuff that's been pushed over the last couple of years about fucking racism and blah 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 and all this shit when it comes to the sports world, it's why so much it rings so hollow, because truly sports are something that is unifying. When it comes to, hey, you go to your stadium, you look around, and it doesn't matter if there's a black dude, Hispanic dude, it doesn't matter. It matters what jersey they're wearing, right?
Yes.
And if they're wearing the wrong jersey, fuck you. But if they're wearing the right one, we're cheering, we're high-fiving, we're chugging beers, we're doing whatever. You know what I mean? And in moments of tragedy and moments, stuff like that, sports do bring people together. Not just for a way to escape a little bit, but also for that feeling. Mm-hmm. So I know you've already seen some moments like that over the weekend, and we'll talk about a couple of those. But yes, indeed. Will, what do you got going on, man? You're muted.
You should have just kept him going.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, it was a rough week last week for a lot of people for many different things. But I said it on my show, doing that show Thursday morning. It was just nice. Like obviously, Wednesday was very emotional, and you couldn't really escape it. And Thursday morning, I was just grateful to have sports and have a sports channel, because I'm like, hey, we're not going to get into what happened yesterday. This is going to be an outlet for people that just want to get away from everything. And that's what sports are. And people say, you have the trolls that say it's all rigged and sports are there to keep you distracted and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it's an escape, man. You get away from the real world, whatever's going on in the real world. So it was nice to do that with all the stuff that went on last week. And I didn't even know the guy. I never watched. I mean, I knew of Charlie, obviously, and but I never watched any of his podcasts or anything like that. But it even hit me. I was looking at my wife that night. I'm like, God, I don't know why this has affected me that much. But I think what it was is, one, I watched it, and then two, followed along all day along with it. But the fact that he had his wife and kids there, that I think that's, since becoming a dad, that kind of stuff really gets to me, and I couldn't imagine. But glad to have sports as an outlet, a little escape, and excited to talk some NFL today.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep it a balance. I think this is something like we have to talk about. The reason that it affected you that way is because it's not a politician. It's not somebody that holds power, and even then, obviously, it would be disgusting, right? But it's not who it is. It's somebody who talks to people.
You said it way better than I did, because when I was trying to tell my wife about it, I said he's a nobody. And I didn't mean it like anything rude or whatever, but you said it better. He's not like a person with power, a politician or something like that. He's just a guy that goes and talks to people.
Well, he was one of us, man. And that's why it hit so heavy for me, was because like we're friends with a lot of these people, like Benny Johnson or Drew Hernandez, and even Jeremy and Ryan, who are like super outspoken and like, have their political channels and stuff. And it's like, fuck, man, this could have been any one of us who just choose to be outspoken. And it happened to be one of the more mild, tame, open and just encouraging, just open debate. And it just happened to be Charlie Kirk. And that's what hit like so hard for me.
Yep. He's not a radical. He's fairly mainline with pretty much all like the conservative opinions at this point in time. Yeah. And it is disgusting. It's despicable.
The most radical thing about Charlie Kirk is that he's a good Christian.
Yeah. And to these people, that is radical, right? To the people that are celebrating it and cheering it on, he is a radical. And we're going to start off not by talking about the people who are, attacking Charlie Kirk, dancing on his grave, celebrating. We're going to talk about the stuff in the sports world we saw that was awesome. The stuff we saw in the sports world that honored Charlie Kirk. That's how we're going to start off today. Let me catch up with these chats, and we're going to get right into that stuff. Alex McCarthy, my college teams, Clemson and Coastal Carolina lost. Yes, they did, Alex.
Alex McCarthy plays it very safe. He has 2 teams for every sport.
He does, yeah. And even then, sometimes he can't win.
Yeah.
And then Alex says Packers won. Jags will. Meta PCR Capos Beardo. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Big man pick 6, fight on Trojan, says American Man. Yes, there was a big man pick 6 in that Purdue USC game.
Yep.
Hey, we covered. You guys were favored by like 30 points. We covered easily, even with that pick 6. So, Pissing Penguins for $50 says, hey guys, love what you're doing. Sorry, Ryan. Fuck the Bears. Also, hail the beard and RIP Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Pissing Penguins. American Man for 5. Got to give credit to the Yankees and the Cubs for honoring Charlie Kirk the way they did. I said screw it and bought hats from both teams out of respect.
There you go.
Right. Glad you got yourself a Cubs hat. That's for sure. But yeah, let's start off with some of the good. I will say this. Overwhelmingly from the sports world, whether it was from current players, whether it was from retired players, whether it was from commentators, overwhelmingly, it was pretty much horror for what happened and support for Charlie Kirk and his family from nearly universally within the sports world. Does that mean that everybody was saying something? No, but from the stuff that you saw, that's what it felt like, at least to me. And I wanted to go through a handful of these things. Actually, I'm going to share the audio because we do have some audio to play for some of these situations. Immediate in the aftermath, Harrison Butker was very outspoken about, his feelings and his thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk, which isn't really a surprise with how open Harrison Butker has been about his faith. We saw the Yankees the night that it happened, remembering Charlie Kirk. And this is the day before the September 11th game in which Trump was there. We also saw the Chicago Cubs do a moment of silence. I guess they're now called moments of reflection. That's usually what they call them now, for Charlie Kirk, who is a big-time Cubs fan and actually caught a lot of flack from lunatics just over the past few weeks for posing in a picture with a couple Cubs players. But the Cubs did that. The NFL even did it. NFL, Commanders, Redskins, now Commanders versus the Packers, Thursday Night Football. They had a moment of silence before the game for Charlie Kirk. We'll see what else we see today. I will say this, with as loud and outspoken as the NFL was about fucking George Floyd, I expect more than we have seen so far. That's just one game, so we'll see what they do in these other games. But NASCAR, unsurprisingly, went all out. RCR cars displaying Charlie Kirk tribute decals at NASCAR Bristol race. You saw in remembrance of Charlie Kirk on the big jumbotrons at Bristol Motor Speedway, combined kind of with the flyover. It just made for a very special moment. And then NASCAR's Christopher Bell, who won the race, you can see what he said in the aftermath here.
Importantly, this week's obviously been a very tough week, and there's a lot on our mind, and just this one's for Charlie.
I want to ask you about the tough week for the race team too, because you had some very pointed words after the race.
You can hear the crowd reaction to that. That's pretty special.
Hell yeah.
And then the last one I wanted to get to that at least that I had pulled up Dodgers relief pitcher Blake Trinan. Blake Trinan, who was very outspoken about the degeneracy that happened around with the Dodgers and the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, those people, a couple years ago. Blake Trinan on the mound with Charlie Kirk with a cross on either side while pitching for the Dodgers. So again, just a special way to pay tribute to Charlie. So with all of the disgusting stuff that we have seen, there was a lot of good stuff in the sports world as well, specifically remembering and honoring Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, you love to see it. And with how a lot of these major sports leagues, they handle themselves on social media, you question some of the beliefs or where their point of views are politically, and then it's really refreshing to see the athletes on the field, to see their perspective and their point of view. It's a good eye opener to see how they feel.
Yeah, I think. Well, look, we've been in this situation for the last 5-10 years where you can only say one thing. Right?
Correct.
You can only say one thing on one side when it comes to sports, or you get attacked, you get to whatever, right? If you're speaking out about this thing, it's okay, but not if you say this. And that has led to this feeling that, well, if all these athletes aren't saying anything, they must kind of just support the narrative, which I don't think is the case. Look, a lot of players in the NFL, probably pretty conservative.
Yeah.
Let's just take a guess and say that. A lot of players in baseball, probably the same thing. Obviously, we know what NASCAR is. That's not saying everybody. That's not saying, they entirely. It's not saying anything like that. But when you have kind of moments like these and you do see more players speaking out, it just kind of reminds you that the shade that's been drawn over our eyes the past couple of years by the leagues being so outwardly virtue signaling about everything. A lot of the people that are staying quiet and aren't speaking out, maybe for fear or maybe because they just don't want to get involved. There's a lot of people that don't feel that way and aren't okay with what's been going down.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of tributes going out there to Charlie Kirk, which in the midst of the horror, in the midst of the celebrations, discussing stuff, it was good to see a lot of good things happening in the aftermath of this as well.
What about the WNBA?
Oh, the WNBA.
Did they take a moment of silence?
Is this a segue here?
You wouldn't know because their stadiums are empty.
Okay.
But there is one WNBA player who was not honoring the memory of Charlie Kirk. We might get to her in a little bit. We did see, I will say this. There was about 1,000 fake bullshit news stories that are out there about every big name athlete you can imagine that are fake, right? From Justin Jefferson to CJ Stroud to Jalen Hurts to a bunch of people. And it's all this like copy pasta bullshit from Facebook that makes its way over to Twitter that people just repeat. And it's things like, in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's murder, Justin Jefferson has pledged to support Charlie Kirk's wife and his children for the rest of whatever. What a moving thing. But then you see the same exact thing. You see CJ Stroud called for a moment of silence for all NFL teams. And then you see the same thing for a bunch of other players that just copy pasted. And it's all bullshit. But it's being repeated by people.
What's pasta?
What's that?
What's pasta? What do you mean by pasta?
It's just copy pasted.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Like just repeatedly copy and pasted.
Yes. It's just being being copy and pasted.
Okay.
But even
that's
Greg
a new one
Abbott,
for me. I'm not sure what you lost me on pasta. I wasn't sure what that meant.
You're too young to know what copy pasta means. Is that what you're saying?
Well, maybe I just don't pay enough attention. I don't know.
I feel like I'm too old to know what it means, but that's all right.
I don't know.
But even fucking Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, fell for it and retweeted what CJ Stroud supposedly had said. It's just fucking wild. But yeah, so a lot of people, if you think that your favorite player just went out and gave some crazy donation or whatever, if you can't find a statement anywhere on social media, if you can't find any actual news source that's been reported in, check it first. That would be my suggestion. That'd be my suggestion. But for a lot of the good stuff that we saw, we can't ignore some of the other stuff. We absolutely cannot ignore some of the other stuff. In the aftermath of Charlie Kirk being murdered, even though we saw a lot of sports leagues honoring him and things like that, we also saw some people involved in the sports world saying some pretty disgusting shit. Now, we have seen some people get fired. We saw a Carolina Panthers staffer get fired for what they posted about Charlie Kirk. We saw an employee of the Fox Sports coverage of the Las Vegas Aces get fired. Or not the Aces, the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights get fired. We saw a lot of that stuff going on. We also saw some people, some ex-athletes who were very happy about this. Ex-NFL player Chris Cluey, punter, loser, bitch, gleeful over Charlie Kirk's murder in social media posts, right? Fucking finally fight back against the bullshit framing that tries to make Dems responsible for everything. The GOP is choosing to create this kind of societal environment. They could stop at any time. They have agency as well. They're not fucking children, except, well, you know. So this is Chris Cluey saying finally, thankfully, finally, somebody shot someone. Disgusting.
Jeez Louise, man.
A Phoenix Suns NBA writer got fired after celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. But one of them, and you mentioned the WNBA earlier, Will, Natasha Cloud, who plays, I believe, for the Liberty, has light and love in the profile. Natasha Cloud was very outspoken in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's murder. WNBA player Natasha Cloud deletes post about Charlie Kirk assassination suspect. I want to show you just some of the stuff that she was posting, right? We can see here. If y'all start saying Antifa, square up. Oh, how dare you? How dare you mention that maybe somebody who wrote Antifa messaging on bullet casings in which they used to murder Charlie Kirk, maybe that Antifa might have something to play in this. That's really weird, right? Tyler Robinson and his parents were Republicans, far-right Republicans. Weird how Tyler Robinson, with everything that's coming out, has been indoctrinated by leftism, is a leftist, wrote leftist messaging on the bullets, and is dating a transgender fuck. Yeah, sounds so far-right Republican to me, doesn't it? Consistently repeating over and over again about white people being a problem, white boys being a problem. Look at this. So where were y'all threatening HBCUs when it was a 22-year-old white boy from Utah who shot Charlie? Racism, not politics. Racism. Difference in policy. You giving tax cuts to billionaires. Y'all dumb, but I digress. Your hatred for other people is not politics. That's what so much of this is coming up to.
Yeesh.
Lying about Charlie Kirk, saying he's a racist, saying he's a homophobe, saying he's a bigot, saying he's a Nazi. And this is the position. These are the positions that got Charlie Kirk killed. You could say, you could criticize Charlie Kirk's positions all you want, but if you actually know anything about him, if you've actually seen him interact with anybody, to say that he's racist, to say that he's a homophobe is bullshit. He didn't agree with the gay lifestyle. He was a follower in Christ, yet he made it very evident that he still did his best to love them and disagree with their lifestyle, welcome them into the conservative party while disagreeing with their lifestyle.
Yep.
Like black people, watch Charlie Kirk and some of the black people he has working for Turning Point USA. Watch Charlie Kirk talking to a young black single mother with a little black baby and the kindness and care that he shows her when talking about the problems that he wanted to help stop in her community. Saying that Charlie Kirk is racist is absolutely insane. And then John Root, who friend of the channel, John Root, what's up? Honestly, shut up and log off. There's no proof white conservatives are threatening HBCUs in the aftermath. Why don't you just offer condolences for Erica Kirk and the kids and condemn your party's rhetoric, which led to his death, rather than pushing racist propaganda with your delusional friends like Jamel Hill. Of course, there's Jamel, right? There's Jamel. You guys saw the reaction to this?
Jamel Hill's reaction?
Mm-hmm.
No, I have not seen her reaction.
She said that it's because Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist. That's why he got shot.
Oh, of course.
That's what Jamel Hill says. Absolutely vile, disgusting human being. Also, if you're going to have Christ as the first thing in your bio, let's be an actual Christian, not a white nationalist Christian. Where in the world is anything that John is saying that he's a white nationalist, by the way? Spewing racism, violence, etc. in the name of faith? And he calls her out for that. Like, none of that is true. but keeps going on and on and on about this shit. On and on and on. Natasha Cloud doubling down on the basically deserved murder of Charlie Kirk. This is the WNBA. They are disgusting, and it's why no one's going to show up to watch you, especially with Caitlin Clark not playing in the playoffs. It's been sickening to watch some of these people reveal themselves, because that's what they've done. They've revealed themselves in the aftermath of this, and they've revealed how evil they truly are.
Good. Get them out. They're a detriment to society.
Gross.
They're a detriment to sports. Get them the fuck out.
You think? I don't think the WNBA is going to do anything. Highly doubt that the WNBA would do anything about that. But hey. Somebody did get their comeuppance. Did you guys see this stuff? The Joe Burrow Foundation. The Joe Burrow Foundation took action swiftly in the aftermath of the murder of Charlie Kirk. And it's because somebody that was on their board, who happens to be a judge in Ohio, by the way, said some pretty horrific shit. NFL star Joe Burrow's charity terminates board member over Charlie Kirk comments.
Wow.
Right? So this is somebody who was on Facebook, again, replying to people, say he deserved it, he spewed hate, he was a Nazi, all of that stuff, right? This is the guy right here. He's a judge. He's a judge. How's he feel about gun violence and gun control in hell now? Rest in hatred and division is what he said. He spewed hate, division, racism, etc. Blah, 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 all this bullshit. He's a fucking judge. So this might be somebody you go in front of if you do or do not commit a crime, if you're accused of committing a crime. This is the dude you go in front of. And thankfully, the Joe Burrow Foundation took very quick action and fucking fired him. The Joe Burrow Foundation was founded on the belief that everyone has the responsibility to do good. We've terminated an advisory board member that made inappropriate remarks in light of the recent events and are no longer associated with the foundation. Don't reflect our values or our mission. We're committed to accountability and respect for all.
They just can't help themselves, man. Get them out.
A judge,
I can't believe
bro.
anyone would think it's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, people can believe what they want and they have freedom of speech, but like when you make that public, there's consequences. And I can't believe so many people came out and outed themselves, which is good that we know about it. But I didn't realize he had so many people that disliked him. Like I said, I didn't know much about the guy.
Look, I don't think that everybody needs to feel sorry, that everybody needs to feel bad, that everybody needs to express their condolences. I really don't. Now, when it comes to the NFL, like I push the sports leagues. I'm almost like you've put yourself in a position where you fucking better, because you've set this example where when you've got, people killed in the act of committing crimes or resisting arrest and stuff like this, and you're holding them up as heroes, you're doing moment of silences, you're doing stuff like this. You have put yourself in the position where you damn well better do stuff for Charlie Kirk if you're doing it for these people. But with that being said, I don't think that everyone needs to speak out. Everyone needs to say something, because look, there are a ton of people in this world, a multitude of people in this world, probably the vast majority of people in this world, to be honest with you, that I wouldn't shed tears. I wouldn't be out there saying, oh my gosh. But there's a big difference between that and celebration and encouraging more of it and hoping that more of it happens and calling out who should be next and who should be next and who should be next. That shit is vile. And that's why there's a big difference between the cancel culture of the last 10 years, which involves, going back through decades of old tweets to see if somebody, when they were in high school, said a gamer word or shit like that, than people that are being called out for their vile, evil actions in the moment. There's a big difference between those things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think, too, it's because we grow up like everything's online. Nothing's real. So like, unless you were there and witness it, I wonder if we're just some people are just desensitized. Like they don't realize how horrific it would have been being there watching that, or just how horrific it actually is. because I can't imagine like celebrating the fact that someone got brutally murdered or assassinated like that, no matter who it is, no matter how much you may dislike the person. You got to know that that's one, not okay, and two, not great for our country at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's been a lot of stuff obviously centered around Charlie. We'll see what happens. A lot of NFL games today. I imagine some of them we might see something. I heard a report that the NFL is effectively letting teams choose for themselves, letting home teams decide with what if they want to do something or if they do not want to do something. So we'll see.
I wonder if they'll do something on Red Zone.
On Red Zone?
Maybe. Yeah,
Ooh,
right
if they
before
do
they start.
something at the beginning.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Look, Pat McAfee, I should have pulled that up in the people. Pat McAfee not only put out a tweet, but he also had about a 4-minute opening to his show the next day. Pat McAfee was very outspoken about like how horrific it was. Stephen A. Smith, Smith, very outspoken as well about it. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know if Red Zone will do something or not.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and it can come off as a strange bout. Look, when you cover stuff like this, and we're obviously talking about this now, and we're going to move into kind of some more normal topics, some stuff we normally talk about in sports. It can be a weird balance. The idea of Scott Hansen doing like a 1-minute opener talking about Charlie Kirk, and then being like, and now get ready for 7 hours. Like, it can be weird, like working that stuff into the broadcast in the right way.
You can keep it very vague too, without even using Charlie's name. You could just talk about, something about political violence or whatever, or something like that. Especially, you might be doing something already because of 9/11.
Yeah, I hate those like little cop outs sometimes. Like say his fucking name, do it.
Yeah. I can see them throwing up a slide with like Charlie Kirk's picture with his...
I would be shocked if that happened.
Really?
Yes, I'd be shocked. Like on Red Zone broadcast, I'd be shocked.
Okay.
I 100% do think there will be like some sort of comment about political violence and maybe even mentioning his name. I'd be shocked if they put a picture of him up there personally.
I would rather them mention his name, throw up a picture and a slide than just make some kind of just half-assed comment about being anti-political violence. Like, either go the whole way or don't say anything at all.
Yeah,
fair enough.
But we'll see. A Money Wilson says, "Go Cubs." Yeah, I was happy to see my Cubs do that. Charlie Kirk, a big fan of them, and like I said, even in the last month, you had a lot of people that were attacking the Cubs for letting Charlie Kirk on the field and taking pictures with Cubs players. Right. So even within the past month, that was the case. So, I'm glad that the Cubs did that for sure. My Chicago Cubs. Alex McCarthy for 2, lifelong Clemson fan, went to Coastal Carolina. That's Alex's excuses. McCawk, did y'all see the Astros? Zach Cole MLB debut on the first pitch, hits a home run. I didn't. I did not actually catch that. I saw like a headline about it, but I have not seen it. McCawk. I did see Aaron Judge shake President Trump's hand and immediately be infused with MAGA power and just start launching home runs again.
Yeah,
the Trump effect.
Yeah, the Trump effect, dude.
That's
like,
crazy.
Look at this guy, very muscular guy.
Do you know in 2 weeks we have playoff baseball? It's crazy.
Yeah. Right around the corner, dude. Right around the corner. Maverick Miller for $5 doesn't say anything, but thank you. Jordan Bordeaux, Lowell Mets is eternal. Bro, the Mets have absolutely collapsed.
I love that I could go to Barstool Frank the Tank and go to his page, his Twitter page, and I can tell if the Mets won or not just by seeing his most latest reaction. It's great.
I saw somebody posted
like on my show.
Somebody posted their record after that big Pride event that they did. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they show like the Pride flag instead of the American flag, or what was it?
Mm-hmm. I think they had the Pride flag up
ago.
instead of. Yeah.
Yeah, and their record since that moment is like horrific.
Well, they lost like 8 straight after that.
They did. But yeah, so the Mets are in hell. The Mets are in hell right now. But good. Jose Contreras for $1 says Ryan, Beardo, and John 10-4. Will 11-3. That was probably from our picks on Sunday, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
That probably does not count our picks for the Thursday and Friday game, if I had to guess. Which I think Will got both of those, and we split those, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
John Getz Gaming, come on, Steelers don't choke like you always do. Hey, Steelers are playing today. We'll see how they're at home, I think.
Against the Seahawks. It's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to watch that.
Little Orphan Funkhouse 2, Purdue's 2-1, and Notre Dame's 0-2. Ryan is mildly happy. Well, we can talk a little bit about some of the big college football outcomes we had yesterday. We had potential already game of the year candidate, Georgia, Tennessee, a big time matchup that went back and forth all the way up to like the closing minute, basically. And Georgia walks away with a huge victory at Tennessee. I don't know how much of the games you guys were able to watch yesterday. But that one, I had it, the 4 box. I was watching a bunch at the same time. But that one was, again, that's already a game of the year candidate, to be honest.
I felt so bad. I was getting ready to text Cricket and tell him congrats on the win. And then I saw him miss the field goal. And I go, oh, never mind. We're going to delete that. Because I knew when I went to overtime, I go, they're not winning this.
Yeah, I was watching the USC Purdue game. And then I got a text. It was like, are you watching this Tennessee-Georgia game? I was like, fuck. So I switched over and I watched the missed field goal, but I missed probably all of it because I was watching USC Purdue.
What a sad game to watch. Personally, I caught a little bit of it. Thankfully, not too much. But yeah, USC did beat Purdue, so congratulations. We covered the spread. That's all that matters, really. LSU Florida was last night, and it was, to be honest, it was closer than I expected it to be. At the end of the day, it was like 2010 LSU at home. Some people picked Florida, maybe with a comeback upset or something, but I expected LSU to play a little better than they actually did, but they do sneak away with the win. So
I don't think LSU is as good as people are thinking. I mean, now that you go back and look and see how bad Clemson is and whatnot, they've got flaws. And that Tennessee Georgia game, Georgia was just able, even when they were down, they're still running the ball, and they're getting like 8 yards a pop. And I'm like, the way to beat Georgia is to force them to throw. And there's only like one team in the country that I can think of that can do that, and that's Texas. But Texas's offense looks terrible right now. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Speaking of, Arch Manning, Beardo's guy, Arch Manning against UTEP, where a lot of people were like, all right, hey, we've had a little bit of a rough go. Let's get it in. And it was rough for a while. I mean, they win the game like 24-10 or something like that. People were expecting it to be a lot further away than
favorites. 40-point favorites, It's like, what are we doing? Yeah, I don't think any of these quarterbacks at the beginning of the season that everyone was propping up, I don't think any of them are good. I mean, none of the big ones are living up to the hype. Arch, Klubnik, Nussmeier. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys develop throughout the season. But how great of on paper was that game that we're going to, Beardo, before the season started, Florida, Texas. And then now it's like each week it's like, God, this is going to suck, isn't it? It's going to be like a 10-7 game.
17-14.
I know, man.
Probably what it's going to end up being. Another incredible game we had last night, and even more incredible because of the result. Texas A&M, I think with a TD with like 12 seconds left on the clock or something like that, at Notre Dame to beat Notre Dame. The 8th ranked Fighting Irish are now 0-2. Go fuck yourselves, Notre Dame. A huge road win for Texas A&M, no doubt about that. A massive.
Dude, that was their first big road win in 10 years. That's one of the reasons why I'm not going to take either side, but I'm like, I can't trust A&M. They can't win the road game. And then, they were battle tested in that one. It was a really good back and forth game. And Does this, Ryan? I want to ask you this because I asked a buddy of mine who's a Notre Dame fan. He says, "Oh, if we went out, we're in the playoff." I'm like, "You're 0-2. You should be eliminated from the playoff already." You know what I mean? It's not like they have a great schedule.
Yeah, that's the problem. Well, here's the thing. They play basically no one else, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
They play.
Hey, they play Purdue. They play.
I know.
Purdue.
Yes, like I said, nobody else. So they play Purdue, Arkansas at Arkansas. So that is a legit, team. Boise State, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford, right? So of all those teams, maybe one or two of them, maybe has a shot potentially of being ranked in the top 25 before like the season's done. So
yeah, but not even top 15. Like
right.
Top
so your two big opportunities you just had were against Miami and against Texas A&M. Now, both of those games were really close. Both of them were losses. With 12 teams in the playoff, I do think if Notre Dame wins out, they would still make it.
Because of the bias too towards them from the voters.
That's exactly. Not that they deserve to, but that they would.
Still have to play USC.
And they were in the national championship last year. So
their losses are like good losses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are as good of losses as you can have against, top 15 teams, one of them on the road, and one of them you lose on a touchdown catch with 10 seconds left. I think that when we get all the way to fucking 3 months from now, if they win out, they'll get in.
I think if A&M ends up with 4 losses this season, though, once they hit the SEC schedule, that will not look like a good loss.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, Miami could implode. Who knows? A lot of stuff like that can happen. But
Miami looks good, though.
Miami looks solid. Yeah. They got their quarterback, old Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Moved down there to be with his girlfriend who broke his heart. Now he's just stuck there. Well, and for like $5 million.
She did him a favor. He's playing better football now, right, Bureau? Yeah. Women weaken legs?
Women weaken legs, man. I'm pretty sure Carson Beck cheated on her, and she broke up with him because of it.
She probably deserved it.
Which honestly, she probably deserved it.
Yeah. But John Matrix from Black and White Sports. We knew he was going to be a little late today. Good to see you, John. How you doing?
I'm hot.
You're hot?
What?
Yeah, I had to do some stuff outside before the football game. So
you barbecuing?
I had to clean it off. It was bad. It was hot outside too, and I had to run to the store. So that's my morning.
Okay.
There you go. Well, we're glad you're here, John. We spent about the first hour and a half talking about obviously the assassination of Charlie Kirk and kind of how that played out in the sports world. The people that were honoring Charlie Kirk and praising Charlie Kirk, and also some of the people that got their comeuppance for talking mad shit and celebrating the assassination of somebody. But before we kind of move on and talk NFL and stuff like that, did you have anything you wanted to say about the subject?
Yeah, a bunch of people getting fired now. I mean, this is way different than the way it was, during the BLM days of 2020. I mean, if you said stuff like this 5-6 years ago, you weren't getting fired. Now there's a whole bunch of people getting fired, including in the sports world. That Phoenix Suns writer got fired, and the Carolina Panthers fired somebody also as well. And Joe Burrow, his foundation fired a judge that was working for him. So it's a different ball game now.
Yeah.
I would argue even last year you wouldn't have saw it. Like if Trump didn't turn his head, you know how many people would have been celebrating that? And you think anyone would have got fired last year?
Yeah, I don't believe anybody got fired because there was people saying, how could he miss shooting Trump in the head?
Well, the one guy with Jack Black and Tenacious D, his buddy, he got canned.
Oh yeah.
There were some people that caught some flack for that. And I said it earlier. I think there is a big difference between cancel culture and what we've been seeing the past 10 years when it's trying to dig through every person's life history to see if one time they told their high school friend, like they called them gay or something. Like, I think there's a big difference between stuff like that and what we're witnessing now. I think there's a big difference between someone having a difference of opinion and someone quite literally cheering on, celebrating, and encouraging more assassinations and violence.
Yeah.
You know, there's a huge difference between those things. And
yeah, they're actually out there putting hits on other people now.
yes, they are. That's exactly what they're doing. So, but let's catch up with some of these chats. And is there any? Oh, we got a Vanderbilt over South Carolina, by the way. You know, we've got some big South Carolina fan, not Alex, but like somebody else. That was, you know, I was always asking what we think about South Carolina. They got their shit stomped by Vanderbilt.
New Mexico over UCLA. That was beautiful. 15.5 point dogs.
Nico Imaliva, bro.
Is terrible, dude.
Nico Imaliva, after hanging out to dry Tennessee and leaving to go to the greener pastures of UCLA. Whoa, don't they regret that? Holy shit. Like, there were reports coming out yesterday that he might be taking like a leave of absence and stuff. Yeah, potentially. I don't know how solid some of those rumors are, but they might want to just
NIL,
because.
though?
What's that?
Wouldn't that affect his NIL deal for missing
Probably.
games?
Maybe they want him to take a fucking leave of absence.
We'll pay you double just to leave.
I'm pretty sure their backup quarterback got arrested like 2 nights ago too. So, bro, UCLA's fucked right now.
Good.
UCLA had like 15,000. They paid New Mexico like $1.5 million to show up,
to play
their ass, and nobody was in the stands.
That's hilarious. The funniest thing about that Vanderbilt, the Vanderbilt game, did you see the story coming about Theo Vaughn? Where Vandy's starting quarterback was like, if we win, Theo Vaughn could go on a date with my mom.
Yeah, yes.
And Theo Vaughn was on the sideline for that game. That's fucking funny.
Awesome.
Yes. But you know, we had a handful of really good matchups, obviously, in college football. Over the next week or two, we'll start getting into like some real games, like consistently a lot of real good games.
Apple Cup next week. God, we suck. I don't know.
Oh yeah, how could I forget about the Apple Cup?
See my Cougs? Terrible. I hate them.
Shockingly, I forgot to miss that. I don't have them saved as a favorite team on ESPN somehow. I know that's strange.
All right, as long as they win next week, all is forgiven. All right, they can lose every other game the rest of the year.
Nader's brick after last night's WVU Pitt game. The ACC needs to look into its referee staff for really poor judging calls. Yeah, here's a secret: refs fucking suck in every fucking conference, in every fucking sport. Refs don't get everything right, and some of it is understandable. You know, like some of it is justifiable when like you don't have an angle on something or whatever. Some of it is egregious, but refs suck. And the better technology gets, and the better, the more camera angles we have, and the better replays we have, and stuff like that, the refs stay the same, right? So they are only still seeing the same thing, where we continue to get all these other things. So if you go back through history and just imagine how many fucking calls have been missed over the history of time that we didn't know about it, like that we did, like it's incalculable. So.
I can't imagine what it was like in the 60s playing football, and the refs had to make a call. I don't believe there was any instant replay.
No, there wasn't instant replay until 2001, 2000, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Man. Imagine if there was instant replay in the 90s. The Cowboys might have 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls.
Well, I think that
of all time, I'm saying.
It's funny because, you know,
well, in the 90s, those games are such blowouts. It wouldn't
that's
even.
right.
Easy, John. Easy.
John's he's got to defend the star, Beardo. Got to defend the star. I know you guys are mad because you guys got a game coming up.
They beat the Buffalo Bills 52-17. I don't think the refs would have made a difference. Then they beat them the next year 30-13. And they beat the Steelers on 27-17, and Neil O'Donnell was throwing 2 interceptions in that game.
Yeah, but the refs, no instant replay.
Didn't need it.
Brady for 5. This is coming from a Red Sox fan, but I have large amounts of respect for the Yankees for honoring Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Brady.
Yep.
Washington disappointed me on Thursday. Hope the mini bye helps. Off to the Bananas game. Hope at least one of your teams win today. RIP Charlie Kirk. I'm going to be real. The Commanders looked fucking awful. Now, I do think at this point we have to say that the Green Bay Packers are good. And Washington looked awful. The entire news cycle for the past fucking 6 weeks, I feel like, is about Caleb Williams and Chicago Bears, and the Bears deserve a lot of criticism for the collapse against the Minnesota Vikings. However, it sickened me to see JJ McCarthy get NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Somebody who put up 143 yards and had a lower passer rating and a lower QBR than the quarterback on the other side, who's getting absolutely annihilated by the media, including for things like DJ Moore deciding to ad-lib on a route that resulted in a big overthrow that was talked to death. Like, it's fucking wild. Congratulations to the Vikings. The Bears collapsed on every aspect. Special teams, Cairo Santos. Thank God. Hey, we got a replacement for Cairo Santos.
Jake Moody.
You sign Jake Moody. So great. Get a guy who kicks accurate. Get a guy who kicks accurately up until about 45 yards in Cairo Santos, but can't hit anything past 45 yards. And get a guy who has the leg to hit 50-plus yard field goals, but can't kick for shit.
But doesn't have the accuracy. But at least he can kick it out of the end zone, Ryan.
Oh, that'd be so funny to have 2 kickers actually on the roster. It up.
Yeah.
Dude,
one's for extra points and field goals. One's just to do the kickoffs.
No, like one for 50 plus, and the other guy kicks everything else.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, at that point, might as well do it.
And look, in retrospect, that was a bad coaching decision by Ben Johnson. We talked about on the local stream. I was like, what if you just kick it out of bounds? Like, then you get it on the 40, but you don't have to worry about the clock. And he told Cairo Santos to kick it through the end zone. He should have known that Cairo Santos doesn't have the leg for that. Cairo Santos didn't get the job done. Bears don't get the ball back because of it.
Yep. Even said in the post-game press conference, he's like, yes, I told him to kick it through the end zone.
Yes, the intention was to kick the ball through the end zone. Yes. Yep. But we'll get into that. Remember when Kirk Herbstreit cried for George Floyd? No crying this week, just a retweet of McAfee's tweet. Weak.
Was it for George Floyd? I thought it was for Jacob Blake. He cried.
No, Kirk Herbstreit.
He cried for Jacob Blake.
It doesn't even matter. They're both criminals.
But I do think that you're right, though. It was the Jacob Blake thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was for.
Jacob Blake got exactly. He got exactly what he deserved.
Where is that?
This is not okay. It's just not.
It's not.
And
there you go.
It is okay. Jacob Blake asked for it.
Yeah, like these are differences between criminals caught in a criminal act that are attempted to be arrested, resisting that arrest. That doesn't mean that all these people should be dead or whatever. And also, I know Shaka, like I've had a lot of people saying, well, where's the hypocrisy for this? I don't know if the incredible celebrations were happening like we saw about Jacob Blake dying or George Floyd dying. I don't think celebrations were happening. I think there were people arguing about whether it was justified police force and stuff like that. The idea that there were celebrations is not true.
No.
Yeah.
Those people aren't important enough to have anybody celebrating that.
Right.
And when it came to Jacob Blake, if you watch the video, it's actually worse than George Floyd because Jacob Blake had a knife. The man was on the ground fighting the police.
Didn't he grab the cop's gun as well?
No, he didn't grab the cop's gun. He got into that vehicle with kids in the back. He's basically kidnapping them, and he refused to comply. That's why he got shot.
Yep. But NBA had to stop their season. Everybody had to do everything. Bro.
And he's not dead. I mean, there was actually people saying he was dead. No, Jake Blake's still alive. He's in a wheelchair, but he's alive.
What a wild time.
And he admitted he had a knife.
Well, we are going to get into some football, guys. And because of that, I know it's shifting gears, but because of that, we do have prize picks back from last season, which is fun. I know Beardo's always excited to talk about prize picks. He's got his favorites out there. He's got his favorites out there. But look, if you guys don't know, today's stream is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. So obviously, one of our favorite times of year is football season. We still have baseball season going on as well. And if you want to get in on that action, you can go to Prize Picks. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. It's also the best way to get on action on sports in more than 40 plus states, including California, Texas, and Georgia, and of course here in Florida. But when you look across the landscape, obviously you got some really good deals. They've got a bonus going on here for Travis Kelce, half a receiving yard, and that pick wins for you. But Derrick Henry, you can see pretty not the best odds for you because Derrick Henry, even though Beardo says he's going to have a down year, probably going to have a touchdown today. But they got demon odds here for Aaron Rodgers at 1.5 pass touchdowns. Can get pretty good odds on that right now. But is there anything that you guys saw on Prize Picks or anything that you're looking at this week that you could think of to set your lineup?
Absolutely. I got 3 locks for prop bets. James Conner, anytime score. He's getting in the end zone today. James Conner, more on his rushing yards today. Also, Geno Smith, anytime interception. Geno Smith is throwing a pick today. Although I like the Raiders, Geno Smith is throwing a pick.
You know, when it comes to interceptions, we do have that. You can get on that action. And somehow the disrespect of Geno Smith,
He
they don't
doesn't
even have his
a
face
picture
on there. They just got a random soccer jersey or something. But Geno Smith is there. Get that Geno Smith action.
Yep.
And obviously you can mix and match throughout other sports as well. So that's completely up to you guys, you know, whatever you want to do if you want to get in on it. But download the app today and use code GGOVER. Let me actually put this on the screen so you guys can see it. Visit the website or download the app today and use GGOVER to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code GGOVER to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Look at that.
Certainly is good. Certainly is good. So check out Prize Picks. It's fun. You know, it adds a little more to the game, which is always a good thing. Especially if you're watching Red Zone. Maybe you're waiting for your team. You're waiting for your team to get in action later and make some of those earlier games more exciting. So go check out Prize Picks. And link is in the description and will be in the pinned comment. Go ahead, John. I'll say something.
I think that was Will.
That was
no, I was going to say I can't wait to use it when I'm down there in Florida in a couple of weeks with Beardo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because obviously different sites go by different standards and stuff like that. So it might be tough to get on the action depending on where you live. But here in Florida, we can use Prize Picks, which is nice. But let's get in to the NFL games.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. And as always, because, you know, it starts off this way.
Starting off with the Bears.
Bears versus Lions, one of the oldest rivalries in sports, actually, between two of the oldest teams. Hasn't been great for either of these teams, you know, the recent history. But the Lions obviously thought they had everything coming together the past couple of years, had put up really good numbers, but yet to put it all together. Can this be the season for the Detroit Lions? The Lions hosting the Bears. Look, both these teams could be 0-2, or both these teams would be 0-2 if they lost. It's at home against the Lions. They're mad Ben Johnson left. Reluctantly, I am going to take the Lions in this game. I do think that the Bears are better than people gave them credit for. You saw them turn out really good against a great fucking Minnesota team, fumble it away basically in the last second, throw up all over themselves, yet against a top 5 fucking defense and a coach who has shown he can play with any fucking quarterback. They should have won that game, and they didn't, despite missing 3 defensive starters. But at home, I got to take the Lions in this one, which pains me to say, but I got to take the Lions.
I liked what I saw from the Bears last week in the first quarter. I saw I saw the image. I saw the picture. I saw the future of what the Bears could be. But unfortunately, the Bears with offensive line struggles, offensive line mistakes and penalties and stuff. And then you see Caleb Williams kind of collapse in the second half. I believe in Caleb Williams, and that's not because he's a USC guy. I actually think that Caleb Williams is going to turn out to be a good NFL quarterback. He just needs more time to develop underneath his Ben Johnson system. I like the hard counts, and that, unfortunately, Caleb Williams was so good at the hard count that he was making his own offensive lineman jump. And
it is concerning. It's concerning they spent so much money in the offseason on that interior line, and that was what gave them problems.
Yeah.
In last game, by the way, they gave up, I think, 19 pressures. 1 pressure was blamed on Caleb when you look at the analytics. The other 19 were on the offensive line, far more than anybody else in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, you did see some flashes of some Caleb to Adunze to that future there. So I liked it. I'm going to take the Lions today, but I'm going to pick the Bears to cover. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I like the Bears to cover.
I was highly disappointed with the Lions last week. Why in the world? It made me think, why in the world did I pick them to go to the Super Bowl? But I think they rebound this week. And I don't believe the Bears are going to cover. I believe this is going to be a double-digit win.
Whoa.
By like 10 points. The Lions better rebound. They better be impressive.
I'm going with the Bears.
Ooh.
I think it's fun. I think it's funny, Ryan. It has to defend Caleb Williams because that's his quarterback. It's like he says it, and you can tell he's not liking what he's saying, but it's kind of funny. But no, I mean, I'm just seeing all the money and everything coming in on the Lions in this one, and that's for the spread and whatnot. But everyone loves the Lions. I think everyone's thinking this is the Lions of last year, and it's not. And there's got to be something to Ben Johnson knowing this team and knowing that defense, and he's a hell of a coach. Now, whether he can get his players to do what needs to be done will be another thing. But I think the Bears got a puncher's chance, so I'm gonna go with the Bears. But it is my least confident. It's 1 on our confidence picks, but yeah, I like the Bears.
Yeah, I think. Look, I've kind of been up front that I thought the Bears would be an 8-win team before. I don't think they're going to light anything on fire. But I also do think by the time middle of this season rolls around, you're going to start to see the offense clicking.
I agree.
It really was never clicking last week. Despite that opening drive, a lot of it was after giving up pressures and ad-libbing.
Caleb using his legs to extend the plays, like on a broken play.
Yeah, and you can have a lot of criticism for everything that happened last year, and that's fine. But when if you look at the plays and be like, well, he has to play more on time. There was very few opportunities to do that last week. He did miss some passes. He missed some over the middle passes. 1 to Cole Kmet, 1 to DJ Moore on 4th down, in which because of a pressure up the middle, he had to kind of lead him more than he really needed to. But there was also a lot of pressure where he had to ad-lib and create. And he only took he took 2 sacks. He technically stepped out of bounds on that one. And I've seen the dude getting absolutely crucified, even though he outplayed JJ McCarthy, which is crazy. But if that spread ticks up to 7.5, then I would feel a lot better about Beardo's cover. I fucking hope they win. And I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. We'll see. Jags.
So do you have the Bears covering too?
I think if that number got to 7.5, I'd jump on that cover. Because it's at 6.5.
I'm confident.
It's going to stay at 6.5. It's not going to 7.
Yeah, it's a much different story if it ticks up to 7.5. But
I'm pretty confident that the Bears are going to cover. Will, did I have the Bears covering in my league this morning?
Picks, I believe.
Yeah,
so.
in the picks this morning. I made that as a confidence pick this morning, Ryan.
Nice. Yeah. And by the way, guys, we do have our Sports Wars confidence pick, our pigskin pick 'em over on the ESPN League. A lot of you guys are involved in that, which is cool. So I filled out all mine today. I'm echoing what I have here. I don't remember what number I put on everything, but I'm going to be echoing those picks here.
Beardo, you do not have them.
I do not have the Bears. Okay, so I didn't have the Bears, but I'm still pretty confident that the Bears cover, although they're not in the league.
Jaguars, Bengals. At home for the Bengals, the battle of the big cats. Jags looked okay last week. They traded away their backup running back. But ETN looked solid, obviously, for them last week against the Bengals, who looked kind of fucking miserable against the Browns, but now they're going to be at home. I do have the Bengals in this one because it is so early on in the year. It's tough to put too much confidence on it, but I got the Bengals at home.
I got the Bengals as well. And Will said this morning that the Jaguars are going to try to put Travis Hunter a little bit more reps on defense. I suspect Joe Burrow attacks Travis Hunter. And wherever Travis Hunter's lined up, that's where Joe Burrow's going. So give me the Bengals, and I think they cover that 3.5 as well.
Yeah, I agree. They're going to cover that 3. That's a low line for me. I think the Bengals are going to take this one by a touchdown. So, yep, give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm on the Bengals as well. One of my best bets of the weekend is Bengals team total over 27.5. I don't know if the Jags are going to be able to keep it close or not, but I do know that the Bengals are going to look a lot better offensively than last week. Only 7 yards in the second half. I got to imagine a home opener against this Jags defense, which isn't all that great. I expect Burrow and them to put up some points.
There you go. Giants, Cowboys. Man, the matchup, Beardo, John Matrix, both your teams going at it. Who comes out on top in this matchup? Let's let John explain this one. John,
okay.
How do you feel about this one?
A lot of people were impressed with the Cowboys in that week 1 loss. It's still lost no matter what. I'm not giving them any moral victories or whatsoever. But I'm going with the Cowboys on this one, man. They're better than the Giants. They 5.5 points right there. I think they do cover that. It'll probably end up being a touchdown victory. I know this is an in-division rivalry game. CD Lamb, use some Stickum today. Use Stickum. What do you say, Beardo?
I'm also on the Cowboys today. I said that I was not going to pick the Giants for the rest of the year until they change and something drastic happens. Until they show me otherwise, I am not picking the Giants, and I'm sticking with that. I'm going to be rooting for the Giants today. But the Cowboys are going to win in blowout fashion. They're going to embarrass the Giants today, and they're going to cover that 5.5. Cowboys. And I hate saying it. It's disgusting. I want to vomit right now saying that shit.
We'll see if CeeDee Lamb can catch balls that are just right in his hands. If that happens last week, maybe the Cowboys aren't 0-1. I got the Cowboys in this game. I think the Giants are puke.
Yeah.
We saw them look like absolute dog shit against the Commanders, and then the Commanders go to Green Bay and look like absolute shit against Green Bay. Obviously, those are two unrelated games, but I'll be excited to watch the Giants in Week 5 when Jackson Dart's playing. So,
it could be sooner than that.
I can't take a team on the road in the division where after the first week they're questioning who's going to be quarterback. So give me the Cowboys.
There you go. Rams, Titans. Rams, big road favorites in this one against the Titans, who honestly, offensively, they kind of look like puke against the Denver Broncos. But they did hold that Denver Broncos offense, which a lot of people expected to just be super high flying. And oh my gosh, Bo Nix in his second year, they did not look good. They did not look good against Tennessee's defense in Denver. So we'll see what the Titans can do. I do have the Rams winning this game. The Rams took a while to get going, but once they did get rolling, they were able to pull out that win last week. But yeah, I think the Rams are going to be a little too much for the Titans.
I actually liked what I saw from Cam Ward last Sunday. I feel like his wide receivers failed him. I said this on Monday Evening Quarterback. I feel like Calvin Ridley and Ty Lockett failed Cam Ward. I liked his presence and poise in the pocket. And the Rams, let's face it, the Rams didn't really look all that solid last week either. I questioned the play calling with putting Matt Stafford out there, running quarterback sneaks on the goal line with a broken fucking back. What are you doing, McVay? What are you doing, dude? I said it on Game On this morning, so I have to stay true. Give me the Titans today against the Rams at home in Tennessee.
There you go. There you go.
Give me the Rams also. I'm picking the upset. But I think the Rams, I'm picking the upset.
The upset?
You're going Titans?
I mean Titans.
So
Titans.
Titans.
I mean Titans. Yeah, Titans. I'm picking the upset. But I think that that it's going to be a field goal game.
I feel so square for taking this, but I like the Rams and also like them to cover. It goes against everything. You don't want to lay points on the road ever, but I think the Titans are just awful. I think last week a lot of people are believing in that offense. Granted, they went up against a good defense, but I don't think they're good, and I don't think their defense is all that great either. It was just a one-game sample size. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, I think that last week's a little more of an indictment on the Broncos and the hype that people had for them, as opposed to.
And they had 4 turnovers. I mean, any defense is going to look good when you get 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
Credit to them for doing it, but.
Now another puke game of the week. Two, rough AFC East teams here.
Yeah.
Patriots and the Dolphins.
Ooh.
Will, I'll let you take this away as the Patriots fan. What do you think about the game?
I was on my Patriots all week, but this morning I looked at it and I'm going to be on the Dolphins. Christian Gonzalez is out again. We play terrible down in Miami. This team, I think, kind of like what you're saying with the Bears, I think as the season goes along, they're going to get a lot better as they start meshing and getting used to each other. And they just got to get healthy. So I think the Dolphins are going to be able to get some big plays on us, and that's been the key for the Dolphins against us is they're able to get those big chunk plays. They had a reporter that came out and asked Tyreek, why has it been over a year since you've had a 30-yard catch? And he's like, you're trying to piss me off today, aren't you? So I don't think that's good with our best corner out. So I'm gonna go with the home team and the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think that the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel's on the hot seat this year. They got blown out last week in Indianapolis, but the Dolphins usually beat the Patriots in Miami. So I'm gonna roll with the Dolphins on this one.
You guys are both wrong. I'm a bigger Patriots fan than Will. The Dolphins stink. They were lost last week. They're going to be lost this week. The team has completely abandoned their head coach. The locker room is lost. Mike McDaniels has lost the locker room. Okay, Tua's going to go out there and look completely lost with his head turned around fucking backwards. Give me the fucking Patriots. Very physical football out of the Patriots today in Miami.
This was probably the toughest pick this week for me to make my mind up on. I am going with the Dolphins, even though they look maybe worse than anyone else. If this game's in New England, I'm taking New England. It's in Miami, so I'm taking Miami. We'll see what the Patriots can do. I think the Patriots disappointed some people with how they looked last week, but this might be the only other time I pick the Dolphins this year. We'll see. But I am taking the Dolphins.
Not good when you have to have a players only meeting the first week into the season.
Oh yeah, it is over for Mike McDaniel. I think all of us can probably agree it's over for Mike McDaniel. But
that's true.
I think they win this game.
Tua has never lost to the Pats. You know what that means?
And they've always covered the spread.
He's been concussed.
Tua's never lost to the Pats. That means that the Patriots are due.
That does mean that, yeah. Another puke game of the week, 49ers Saints. And the reason it's puke is because the entire 49ers team is injured, including Brock Purdy. It would be a puke game if all their players were healthy because we would just assume be a big blowout, even at home against the Saints. But it's going to be Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler, which, I mean, you can see by the spread, do not sleep on the Saints in this game, not because the Saints are any good, but because the 49ers are 1 week into the season And they didn't look great last week. Really fucking banged up. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of CMC both in the run and in the pass game. So, I mean, look for him. If you're looking on Prize Picks, the amount of volume that Christian McCaffrey is going to get, you want to look at anytime touchdown, probably a good one right there. But I have 49ers on the road, but I don't feel comfortable about it just because of so many questions surrounding these injuries.
I was saying this morning on Game On, Mac Jones is that backup quarterback that you want for like 1 week. You don't want him long term, but just maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and he might show some flashes of being good. Mac Jones might throw for fucking 3 touchdowns today. Are you kidding me? I'm taking the 49ers. I'm not super confident about it, but Mac Jones with one or 2 games for the 49ers, give me the Niners.
I'm picking the upset. I'm taking the Saints. I don't think this game is going to be good at all. And it's not really I'm confident in the Saints whatsoever. Like Ryan said, the Niners, they don't have any bodies. So give me the Saints at home.
This is going to be the game of the week.
I know the Niners are beat up, but as long as they have Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey out there, I'm not worried about their offense, even with Mac Jones back there. And if you're looking at Prize Picks, I would look at Ricky Pearsall's more on his stuff because
let's go.
He was getting fed a lot last week. I'm sure Mac Jones is going to go to him as well. But give me the Niners.
There you go. Bills, Jets. Bills coming off a huge comeback win over the Ravens, like an incredible game that we saw last week. The Bills going to play the Jets, who Justin Fields felt very good about their loss to the Steelers in the aftermath of that loss. I think this game could be good. I'm taking the Bills, but I don't think the Jets are slouches. I really don't. But I'm taking Josh Allen and the Bills taking care of business against the Jets.
Unfortunately for the Justin Fields-led Jets, their Super Bowl happened in Week 1 against the Steelers because Justin Fields wanted to stick it to the Steelers, and he was super happy with how many points that they put up in that loss. Josh Allen and the Bills, they don't play the Jets too well in New York, but you know what that means, Will?
He's due.
They're due. Give me the fucking Bills by 1 million. They cover that 5.5.
The one thing I will say again is that we did look. The Bills won against the Ravens. They probably shouldn't have, but they won. They also had a very tough time against the rush, and we saw in the first week against the Steelers defense, the Jets just did almost whatever they wanted running the football. So you watch for that in this game. But yeah, go ahead.
That was it. That's all I had. Bills
by 10. I mean, it's going to be, it may get ugly.
I do think it's going to be tough for the Bills in this game because, I mean, that's such an emotional win, something we've never seen before on Sunday Night Football against the Ravens. Now you got to go on the road where historically Allen hasn't played all that well. And I do think the Bills end up winning, so I'll take the Bills, but I do think the Jets are going to cover the 6.5.
There you go. Seahawks, Steelers. Steelers at home after Aaron Rodgers' 4 touchdown passes leads them to victory over his old team. Seahawks, lost last week. Sam Darnold didn't look great, particularly had that fumble off his own offensive player to kind of seal that game at the end. I do have Steelers at home. I do think we'll have to see that the most concerning thing about them that we saw last week was that defense that gave up a lot of points to the Jets. But I got Steelers at home.
I don't think a lot of people realize how much of an emotional game this is going to be for both teams. This is a Super Bowl 40 rematch.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. I tell you, true.
I liked what I saw from Rodgers last week. Rodgers looked confident in his first game in the first year for the Steelers. He looked confident in his decisions. He was making decisions quickly. He looked comfortable. I really like what I saw from Rodgers. I got the Steelers here.
Yeah, I got Steelers too. As Aaron Rodgers found the fountain of youth, a full year now recovered from that Achilles tear. Even though he's old, he's 40. We'll see. I mean, could he actually have a MVP type of season? I don't know, but I like them this week.
I think he looks old as shit.
He's
Go ahead,
old.
Will.
He got a lot of gray. I thought I had some gray. He's more gray than me.
It pains me to say this because I hate taking them, but I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. We saw last week the Steelers struggled against stopping the run, and the Seahawks play really good defense. I don't know. I just desperation mode 0-1 versus 1-0. I'll take the Seahawks on the road to upset the Steelers.
Boo.
There you go. Browns, Ravens. Ravens at home, the biggest point spread of the week, sitting right now around 12.5, at least on ESPN. I do think the Ravens win. This is a homecoming for Joe Flacco, quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, going back to Baltimore. But I also think Joe Flacco is good for a turnover every game, pretty much. I think the Ravens had to have been fucking pissed and shitty and feel really mad after that loss. I don't think that they let this. I don't think there's any way they let this game slip away from them. I think I take the Ravens at home.
Yeah, you beat me to it, Ryan. Joe Flacco, revenge game. I'm picking the Ravens, but I like the Browns to cover. I also like the Browns to score first in this game. If you're on Prize Picks, Jerry Jeudy, touchdown. I don't know if on Prize Picks you can do first score. Will, can you do first score on Prize Picks?
I don't know if that's on there. I don't think that's an option on Prize
I don't think
Picks.
it is.
Okay, well, I like Jerry Jeudy to score the first touchdown, but Jerry Jeudy anytime touchdown on Prize Picks. I like the Browns to score first. I like the Browns to cover, but the Ravens are going to win the game.
Ravens easily in this game. Just move on. The Browns are not. It's not even going to be competitive. I know it's Flacco's homecoming, but nah.
AFC North divisional matchup, John.
Nah, don't care. Blowout.
All right.
Yeah, give me the Ravens as well. And then best bet, Ravens -6.5 for the first half. So they got to be leading by a touchdown or more.
Broncos, Colts. This is a game that took me a long time to decide. After the Broncos struggled. They just did struggle against Tennessee at home. Going to the Colts, who had just a revolution, the Danny Dimes revolution with Indy. I don't think we can expect for every game to look as good as it looked for the Colts. But you know what? I'm taking the Colts to be 2-0 after this game is over. The Colts at home over the road favorite Denver Broncos.
This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. Give me the fucking Colts today to upset the Denver Broncos. Let's go, Danny Dimes.
Man, I should just not pick the Colts because that song is annoying.
I know that it's like you got to take off 3 from the win total for the Colts in the year just because of that. But yeah,
but give me the Colts, man.
Yeah,
wow.
Give me the Colts. No confidence, but just give me the Colts.
My favorite bet of the weekend is the Broncos, so I'm going to take the Broncos. Yeah, they struggled last week, but on paper, if you look at their yards, they put up a good amount of yards against that Titans defense, and it was 4 turnovers. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think Sean Payton loved that they struggled last week because he got to rip into his guys all week. They got the win, and he gets to focus his team up as they go on the road here. And also, Danny Dimes is going to go up against one of the best defenses in the league. I think he's going to look like a pumpkin again. He's turned back into a pumpkin, and he's going to look terrible. So I'll take Broncos in that defense, but I do think the Broncos offense figures it out today.
All right, Panthers, Cardinals. Cardinals at home. Panthers, gross. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals
at home. I don't think there was any big Call of Duty weekends, so I think we're safe. Kyler Murray, I don't think he woke up shitting his pants like he did last week. So I'll take the Cardinals.
give me the Cardinals, and this is one of my Prize Picks best bets. James Conner, anytime touchdown. Also, James Conner more in his rushing yards. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals easily. Panthers stink.
They stink.
Yeah, Cardinals as well, and Cardinals team total over 26.5. You're going to have Kyler Murray feeling a lot better than last week, going up against a terrible defense, and then for prize picks, James Conner more. Even what is it? The demon
Goblin or the demon?
The demon, yeah.
The demon on
So
on
with
him.
prize picks, you can't adjust, right? If you feel really confident somebody's going to go off, you can adjust kind of those projections to get the demon projection, which gives you a better payout. So.
Yeah, his total is 69.5 normally. I like him all the way up to 100. So demon him up, James Conner, but give me the Cardinals.
Eagles, Chiefs. Huge fucking game, man. Chiefs.
This should be on Sunday Night Football.
So Will had a good point about that this morning.
Yeah, I mean, they put it in the afternoon, or I guess for you guys, the second slot, the late afternoon. They want everyone watching that game there. They didn't put it on Sunday night because they know everyone's going to tune into Sunday night no matter who's playing. So, I mean, yeah, it would be great, but I mean, for ratings purposes, it would help them more in the slot they're in now than a Sunday night game.
We're going to get both of those teams a lot in prime time this year anyway. But yes, Super Bowl rematch.
Yep.
Super Bowl rematch. Eagles, Chiefs. I got to take the Eagles, man. I hate it. I do think it's going to be close. When you look at still the injury to Xavier Worthy, still no Rashee Rice, you're looking at the same problems we saw last week with that offense. Granted, another week to prepare for having those, liabilities, I suppose. But the Eagles, top to down, their fucking roster, their defense did look suspect, certainly, but at this point, I got to take the Eagles, even though it's at home for the Chiefs. But to me, it's a coin toss.
Yeah,
I like the Eagles.
I like the Eagles also as well. It ain't going to be a 34-0 halftime blowout, but I think the Eagles I think they're going to win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning easy, and then we're going to spit on the Chiefs when they're 0-2.
Let's go. Let's go.
Sunday night game, Falcons at the Vikings. The Falcons got rid of Younghoe Koo after missing that 44-yarder up against the Vikings, who honestly did not play great, but did get the win against the Chicago Bears. I got the Vikings in this game at home. I do think that the team in general is just stacked. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything, but I would say they win by a touchdown. That's how I feel about
it. Sorry, who'd you have?
The Vikings.
The Vikings.
Oh, I'm going the other way. I like the Falcons. I think the Falcons are a more put together team than the Bears last week, and the Vikings struggled against the Bears in the first three quarters. I like the Falcons' run game with Bijan. I also like the Vikings' run game as well with Jordan Mason and what's his name?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Thank you. I think this is going to be a battle on the ground between these two teams, but give me the Falcons.
I do think it's important to note that, like, J.J. McCarthy's struggles in the first three quarters of the game, and then, the fourth quarter he went off, all of that was without the Bears' top two cornerbacks. Both of them were scratched from the game and still had trouble, getting the ball to those receivers. Go ahead, John.
Oh, man. I don't know. Give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings just by a hair. I'm not even going to watch this game probably. It's going to be on so late. But I think the Vikings are going to pull it out.
Not as late as tomorrow night's game.
I know. 2 Monday night games, really?
Well, at least they're not overlapping each other.
They're not overlapping, man.
But the second game starts at 10 Eastern.
I like
late
it.
At night.
I like it.
I'm glad that they're not overlapping, but fuck, 10 Eastern? Holy shit, it's going to be 2 a.m. by the time the game's over.
Yeah, I'll be asleep.
I got the Falcons. I really like the Falcons catching the 3.5. So I don't feel as confident that they're going to win the game. I think it is going to be a field goal game, but I'll take the Falcons. It does suck that they're switching kickers. I don't like that, but give me the Falcons over the Vikings.
And then real quick, we'll rattle off our picks for this one. I got the Bucks in Houston.
Ooh.
You're damn right. Fucking Baker Mayfield. Let's go. I got the Bucks as well.
Give me the Texans.
I got the Bucks.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Raiders.
The Raiders
hosting the Chargers. Bro, I can't go against the Chargers after what we saw, that clinic we saw to start the year down in fucking Brazil. It is going to be on the road, but it's also the road in Las Vegas, which is probably going to feel pretty similar to a Chargers like home
Chargers
game in
fans
LA.
are
Like, same type of level of home field advantage.
I don't know, man. Because in LA, the Chargers fans don't even show up to the games in LA. Shit, they didn't even show up to the games in San Diego.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. Like to me, this is not going to be some huge, massive type of home field advantage. It's probably going to be pretty negligible, which is usually the home field advantage the Chargers get in their own city. So that's what I mean. I don't think it's going to be overwhelming.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Give me the Chargers.
Actually, something important to keep in mind in this game: Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh. These guys fucking hate each other, going back to USC and Stanford and then to the Seahawks and the 49ers. They can't fucking stand each other. I think the Raiders are going to punch the Chargers in the fucking mouth tomorrow. Give me the Raiders.
I'm on the Raiders as well. I think too many people are hyping up the Chargers. It was a good win, but they also are traveling back from Brazil, and I know it's not a far trip, but it is another road game. Give me the Raiders at home. They were pretty impressive last week.
That game was also on Thursday, and so now this is 11 days later or something, because you even get the extra day from Monday, right?
Yeah, but I mean, still.
But point still stands. A lot of travel for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. And with that being said, NFL kickoff's about to start.
Yep, Cowboys about to start.
I am going to catch up with these super chats. You guys are free to leave if you want.
I'll stick around.
Okay. But yeah, you guys can stick around or you can bounce, but I'm going to get through these. So you guys going to stick around?
I got to bail.
All right, no problem. Will, where can people find you?
You find me YouTube at GameOn_picks or at Game On Show over on Rumble every morning, 4:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And on Sundays, we go live at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Beardo, Ghost, and Heavy Steps join me, and we do our little wise guy roundtable, breaking down the betting lines if you're into betting on the NFL.
There you go. Thanks, man. Appreciate you being here.
I got to run too.
No problem. John, where can people find you?
Of course, everybody knows Black and White Sports, so just find me there.
There you go. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Later.
All right. And we're going to get through these. Let's see. Where do I start? Rob Cortez, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Appreciate you guys and others like Jeremy and Gary as we all try to move on from the assassination of a good man. Thank you. Darth Fiend, Ryan, do you or anyone from G&G have a William Refrigerator Perry G.I. Joe figure? Hashtag Go Steelers, hashtag RIP Charlie Kirk. Jeremy might. Jeremy has a ton of G.I. Joe stuff, but I don't. Eric K, checked my Prize Pick account yesterday. I had over $500. So nice. Let's
go. Oh yeah.
That's nice, Eric. Prize Picks promo offer over under 2.5 bad Beardo takes. Kent Reese Hokies for $199 fired Virginia Tech head coach Brent Pry. Big Who for $5. What's up, guys? What are your win-loss stats from last week? I think overall I was. Say that again.
Jose Taco dropped it, but I think he missed a game or two.
I think I was 11-5 last week total. I think you were 12-4. Is that right?
No, I matched you. I think I was 11-5 as well.
Okay, so there we go. Precision Building. Please end the show with this. Oh, you know what? I'll save that one for the end then. Always Ghostly. Go Panthers, but they suck.
They stink.
Kent Reese Hokies and fired AD Will Babcock. Joey Fowles. Caleb Williams had decent numbers, but never delivers when he needs to. Tired of excuses. The irony is last year, that is when we saw him deliver, was in big time moments, was in those fourth quarters, in those comebacks and stuff like that. I think Tyson Bagent will be starting before the end of the season. I think the Tyson Bagent hype is wild and it's perpetuated by insane fans. Like there's a lot of it out there about that. And I think it's retarded because Ben Johnson didn't come to this city for Tyson Bagent. He used his choice to come here to see Caleb Williams, who had played against. Now, if they're fucking like 0-11, maybe, but other than something like that, I don't see it happening. At least not this year. If they go the whole year and they can't get this shit right, maybe next year is a conversation. Senior Brightside, Ryan, did you see the report Baltimore wanted to draft Shador and he denied them? I did see that. We didn't have a chance to talk about it today, but yes, that is 100% true. Shador didn't want to sit behind anybody, but now he's sitting behind 2 people. Stephen DeLeon, Notre Dame rules all. Buffalo Bills rules all. Bills Mafia. Shout out West Texas. Fuck Ryan's shiny forehead. Stephen DeLeon rules all. Beardo Fat.
Thank you.
WG for 5, deducting $45 for your foolish pick of the Colts over my anemic Broncos in my best Greta voice. How dare you?
How dare you?
And then says, kidding, here's 45 more for an even 50. Great show, gents. Keep it up. Appreciate it, WG. Thanks, man. And we will be live for Monday Evening Quarterback as well tomorrow, just so you guys know, recapping what we got right and what we got wrong and what happened in these fucking games. As we got the 9 box going on Red Zone right now. The 9 box. Holy shit. Chris Coran, Monday Night Football. Go Buccaneers. Gators. ALYC Wings Monday night. Let's fucking go. First pitchers on me, guys. Beardo and Ryan. Gators. All you can eat wings Monday night. We're going to be live.
Yeah, I'm going to be here, man. Thank you, Chris.
We're actually going to be live when it starts. If it starts at 7 or whatever.
Yeah, we'll be live.
Oh, God. Already the Lions. Let's see.
I don't even have it pulled up yet. I mean, I could, but.
Yeah, they're already at the 25-yard line. God. Ugh. Taker for 5. Do you guys hear the Broncos are getting a new stadium built on the side of the old rail station? Rumor has it they'll call it Great Value Stadium. I did see they made an announcement about their plan to have it constructed by 2031. I did see that.
That's crazy.
Over on the Rumble side, it sorry it took so long to get to some of these guys. We actually had so much to go over today. Zenny Biscuit for 2 says, YouTube wouldn't let me send this. Happy 70th birthday to the Pope. Wish it was under better circumstances. Yes, the Pope, Chicago fan, by the way. Unfortunately, not just a Bears fan. He is a
White Sox fan.
He's a Bears fan, but he's a White Sox fan. So I don't know how I feel about that. John Getz for $1. Hey, John, we should have won that Super Bowl. Stupid Neil O'Donnell with 2 of the worst throws of all time when the D was stifling the triplets in the second half. Could have been 3-0 against the boys in the bowl. Let's see. John Getz for $1. Beardo, take Penix for the win this week. Not surprising.
Thank you.
Mighty Megatron. Hey, Beardo, did you have a tough time against Powerhouse Purdue? Haha, welcome to the Big Ten, you jackass.
I don't think so. But thank you.
Mighty Megatron, we got Michigan's ass next week. Go Big Red, Husker Power, says Mighty Megatron on Rumble. There you go.
K-Man says UCLA and Virginia Tech fire their head coaches this morning.
That's wild.
Wow.
I mean, not necessarily. UCLA has been a disaster, but 3 games in, that's crazy. As the Lions are driving, Jahmyr Gibbs just punches it in. Jahmyr Gibbs just walked in for a touchdown, everybody. So it is 7-0. Lions over the Bears. Precision Building for 10. Please end the show with this. Forget about Spartacus. I am forever Charlie Kirk. Amen.
Thank you.
There you go. Well, I was going to end it with that, but we did get this as well. Metal Slave at the end drops a bomb with 20 gifted memberships.
Let's go. Thank you, Metal Slave.
Thank you, Metal Slave. We appreciate it a lot. And we appreciate everybody. And thank you for being here with us. And obviously, we dedicated a lot of this to talking about Charlie Kirk because it is just horrific, quite frankly. So we had to talk about it within the realm of the sports world and kind of what that means and everything. So we appreciate you guys being here with us for that. Beardo, what do you got going on, man?
Should be watching football, man. Watching football. And I'm probably going to barbecue up something today, but just taking it easy.
There you go. And I will be live tonight on my channel for my normal Sunday stream in all likelihood. So I will see you guys there.
And then tomorrow night, I'll be live probably for the second game on locals to do a watch party for the second game tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. So
damn. Well, there you go.
Yeah, we'll be doing that.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. And rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. We'll talk to you later.